John, looking directly at the camera. I used to be sharp as a tack. I could remember every student's name from my 30 years teaching history at Marietta High. I'd recite poems by heart and spin stories that had my grandkids in stitches for hours. But now, I struggle to recall my own daughter's name. If only I'd known then what I know now. My name's John, and I'm 75 years old. I've lived my whole life in Marietta, Ohio, a little town nestled along the Muskingum River where folks wave from their porches and life feels like it's got a slower heartbeat. I spent most of my days teaching history at the high school, bringing the past to life for kids who'd rather be anywhere else. I loved it, every minute of it. I married my high school sweetheart, Mary, at 22, and we built a life together. 2 kids, Sarah and Michael, and now 5 grandkids who used to call me Grandpa Storyteller because I always had a yarn to spin. I was the guy who'd organize family barbecues, tend to my rose garden, and read thick history books by the fireplace. I'd take the grandkids fishing down by the river, telling them tales of the Civil War or my own boyhood adventures. Life was full, busy, but full of joy. Mary and I would sit on the porch swing at night, talking about our dreams for the kids or just listening to the crickets. I thought I had it all figured out. But then, things started to change. Not all at once, mind you, but slow, like a shadow creeping in. John? It started with small things, little hiccups I brushed off as just getting older. I'd misplace my glasses, even when they were right on my head. I'd forget a doctor's appointment or repeat a story to Mary within the same hour. She'd chuckle and say, "John, you're getting to be an old codger." I'd laugh too, but deep down, something didn't sit right. Cut to a memory, John and Mary at the dining table, Mary looking concerned. Mary, gently. "John, you've been looking for your keys for 10 minutes. They're on the counter. Are you feeling okay?" John, defensive. "I'm fine, Mary. Just a bit distracted, that's all. Don't make a fuss." John, present, reflective. But it wasn't just distraction. It got worse. I'd drive to the grocery store, a place I'd been to 1,000 times, and find myself lost, circling the same streets. I forgot to pay the electric bill once, and another time I left the stove on all night. Mary started watching me closer, her eyes full of worry. I'd snap at her, saying, "I'm not some old fool." But I was scared. I didn't want to admit it, not even to myself. "Doctor. Mr. Smith, based on your symptoms and the cognitive tests we've done, it appears you're in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease." John, stunned. "Alzheimer's? But I'm only 70. That's for folks much older, isn't it?" "Doctor. I'm afraid it can start in your 60s or even earlier. It's a progressive condition, but there are ways to manage it and slow it down." John, voice breaking. "So, what does this mean for me? For my family?" "Doctor. It means we'll work together to keep you as independent as possible for as long as we can. But it's important to start now." John, present, somber. That day in the doctor's office, it felt like the ground dropped out from under me. I'd heard of Alzheimer's, sure, but I thought it was something that happened to other people, strangers, not me. I went home and sat in my chair, staring out at the garden, wondering how I'd gone from Grandpa Storyteller to this. John? Now, 5 years later, I'm 75, and my memory's fading faster than I ever imagined. I live in an assisted living home now, can't be on my own anymore. Mary visits every day, bless her heart, but sometimes I look at her and don't know who she is. It breaks me every time. As I sit here, watching my life slip away like sand through my fingers, I keep thinking about what I wish I'd done differently. Maybe things could have been better if I'd acted sooner. 1. Stayed physically active. I used to love my morning walks along the river trail. The trees would shade the path, and I'd listen to the birds or just let my mind wander. I'd walk an hour, sometimes with Mary, sometimes alone, feeling the world wake up around me. But as I got older, I let it slide. Work got busy, then retirement made me lazy. I'd say, "It's too cold," or "I'll go tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. Now I know those walks weren't just good for my legs, they were keeping my brain sharp. Experts say regular exercise can cut dementia risk by up to 30%, Alzheimer's Society. I wish I'd kept walking, maybe joined a senior fitness class or taken up swimming like my buddy Tom. 2. Eaten a brain-healthy diet. Mary's homemade lasagna was my weakness, layers of pasta, meat sauce, and gooey cheese. Pure comfort. But comfort food ain't always brain food. I didn't know back then that what you eat can protect your mind. Foods like salmon, rich in omega-3s, or blueberries, packed with antioxidants, can make a real difference. Even walnuts and leafy greens like spinach are brain boosters. I stuck to my meat and potatoes, thinking it was fine. If I'd known, I'd have swapped some of those heavy meals for lighter, brain-healthy ones. They say what's good for your heart is good for your brain, Johns Hopkins medicine. I wish I'd listened. 3. Stayed socially connected. After I retired, I started keeping to myself. I thought I needed the quiet after years of noisy classrooms and family chaos. I'd read or watch TV alone, telling Mary the first was fine. But I was isolating myself, and that's bad for the brain, worse than I realized. Loneliness can hurt your mind as much as smoking hurts your lungs. Staying connected, playing cards with friends, volunteering at church, or just chatting with neighbors, keeps your brain active. I miss those Friday poker nights with the fellas or book club with Mary. If I'd stayed engaged, maybe my mind would have held on longer. Michigan medicine. 4. Challenged my mind. I used to love crossword puzzles and history books, couldn't get enough of them. But as I got older, I stopped. I thought, I'm too old for that nonsense. Big mistake. Keeping your brain active is like keeping a muscle strong. Puzzles, learning a new skill, or even playing an instrument can help. My friend Bill started learning Spanish in his 60s just for kicks. He's 80 now and still sharp as ever. I wish I'd kept at my puzzles or maybe learned to play that old guitar in the attic. It's never too late to challenge your mind. Alzheimer's Society of Canada. 5. Prioritized sleep. I was a night owl, staying up late watching John Wayne movies or reading spy novels. I'd get by on 5 hours of sleep, thinking I was fine. But sleep is when your brain sorts memories and cleans out toxins. Getting 7 to 8 hours a night is critical for brain health. I didn't know that back then. If I'd made sleep a priority, maybe set a bedtime routine or turned off the TV earlier, things might be different now. I wish I'd listened to Mary when she'd nag me to go to bed. NHS. 6. Managed health conditions. I had high blood pressure and was borderline diabetic for years, but I didn't take it seriously. My doctor told me to exercise and watch my diet, but I'd nod and do nothing. Now I know those conditions can increase dementia risk. High blood pressure alone can raise it by 40%. Johns Hopkins medicine. If I'd managed my health better, taken my meds, checked my blood sugar, kept my pressure down, maybe I'd have more time with my memories. 7. Limited alcohol. I enjoyed a glass of wine with dinner, sometimes two on weekends when we'd have friends over. I didn't think it was a big deal. But too much alcohol can damage your brain over time. Moderation, sticking to one drink a day or less, is what matters. I wish I'd been more careful, especially on those long evenings when one glass turned into 3, Alzheimer's Society. 8. Documented memories. Most of all, I wish I'd written down my stories. I've got tales from growing up during World War II, from my teaching days, from family trips to the Grand Canyon. But now they're slipping away like sand through my fingers. If I'd kept a journal, recorded videos, or made a memory book, my kids and grandkids could hold onto those stories forever. It's something I urge everyone to do. Start today, while your memories are still clear. Emotional close, a gentle warning. So, to all you folks watching, especially if you're in your 60s or 70s, don't make the mistakes I did. Start today. Move your body, feed your mind, stay close to the people you love. Write down your stories, and don't let a day go by without living it fully. Because one day, you might look back and wish you'd done things differently, just like I do. Don't wait until it's too late. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom now. Your story matters too. Share it in the comments below. Have you or a loved one faced memory loss? What steps are you taking to keep your mind sharp? Let's support each other on this journey.